Are we not giving maybe the Celtics the credit they deserve defensively? I mean, this is not Minnesota was the best defensive team on paper. They had a rim protector. This Boston team is built around defensive versatility. How much of that is a factor? Because each series, each opponent is different, and they're causing different issues, not just for Luka, but for Kyrie.
Well, games and series are all about matchups. And yes, Minnesota was an elite defensive team, but a better matchup for Dallas, obviously. I think the defensive versatility that you alluded to, where you have multiple guys who can guard multiple positions. Drew Holiday is not your traditional point guard on the defensive end. You can put him on anybody, and he's going to fight. He's going to make life difficult for you. Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, they're capable. They have length and size, and they've learned how to become good defensive players. Obviously, Porzingis, he's been, hurt the last few games. But, Al Horford, even at his advanced age, he switched out on Luka and switched out on Kyrie Irving and has held his own and made those guys work for tough shots. So the defensive versatility and the defensive intelligence of this Boston team, I think hasn't been truly appreciated or respected. And quite honestly, I think this team really has been underrated. I mean, they've been number one all season, head and shoulders above everyone else. They've taken care of business the whole way. They've dominated this postseason. Like, really, I can't think of any other team on a championship run that has dominated like this Celtics team. And now they're on the verge of sweeping this Mavericks team. And it's like, wow, like, how did that happen? This team is pretty incredible. And I don't think gets the credit or appreciation overall for what they've done. And let me tell you, Jim, if they can win tonight or win this series with the age of this roster, they have a lot of runway in front of them to really potentially put together multiple championships here in Boston with this group.
Well, I tell you, we always talk about youth and Jaylen Brown and, Jason Tatum and being able to have that. Porzingis is still relatively young with regards to where he's at. But how about who's heading this thing up with Joe Mazzulla? Last year, is it too much? Is he over his head? He doesn't have the experience. But he got thrown in a situation that's tough for even an experienced coach to be able to handle it. But then the narrative is, well, you have all this talent, so you should win. But it takes a little bit more game planning-wise, the attention to detail. And Grant, it's just as difficult to coach talent as it is when you don't have talent. So the job that Joe Mazzulla has done this year is also, if I'm correct, been kind of underrated.
Oh, no question. No question. And you said it best last year. I think he was transitioned into the head coaching role like right before the start of the season. And so didn't really have the time to prepare for what that is and the responsibility that goes into that. But and maybe last year was criticized and did some things and was sort of learning the position on the fly. But I do think last season prepared him. And he is, really just from day one has this group prepared. He's created a great culture. There's no issues, no problems. They play together. They play the right way. I think he has, found that right balance between empowering guys, but then also holding them accountable, which is not always easy to do in today's game with today's generation. And he's made a lot of the right moves. And you're right, it's hard to coach talent. There's expectations in Boston. When he inherited this team, they just had come off their first finals visit as a core group. They had been to the Eastern Conference Finals a number of times. It was not an easy opportunity, if you will, for a first-time coach. But he has improved. He's settled in. I think he's now very, very comfortable. And once again, I think underappreciated, undervalued for the job that he's done with this group. They faced some adversity. They've gone through some stuff this year, obviously with the Porzingis situation. And these guys were ready. These guys were prepared, and these guys came out and took care of business there in Game 3.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.